तो एक प्रकार से ऐसा समझ लो एक्सट्रीम इंजीनियरिंग। और एक्सट्रीम इंजीनियरिंग में बेसिकली चाहे मर्द हो चाहे मैन और वुमन, everyone has to understand कि this body is just an instrument. It is not male and it is not female. So at any point if anybody gets the feeling for women this is natural or for men this is natural, otherwise how can he be a man or how can she be a woman? That is so. The moment the person begins to identify with this body in terms of gender or realities or anything like that, the person is going on a defensive mode, which means also the person is allowing certain compromises. So 3 clear-cut assumptions a person has to make and then adapt according to situations. Must not go too strongly on that. The reason I am saying is every person has his own realities. You are living in the world. You are not living in some forest or in some cave or in some center where you are only doing practices for very quick results or anything like that. So what is required to be done is make these 3 assumptions. One, this body is just one instrument and it can be very fine-tuned, precision-oriented. Second assumption you have to make is this body is a set of lot of tools, lot of parts. Each part has its own realities also, and they all contribute to create a synergy which we call as personality.
Okay.
The third thing you have to make the assumption is, in life we are all in a journey. Just like you are on a road, everyone is on a journey, and everyone has to take the other vehicle into consideration. Sometimes adapt to the other vehicle's realities also, so that it does not disturb you at all. You have to have your own focus always, and at the same time adapt to the realities of the other vehicles so that you don't bang into them. At the same time you make sure that you don't become a hurdle for them, that they end up banging knowingly or unknowingly. That also must not happen. You must also not bang into anyone knowingly or unknowingly. But everyone has to travel, and everyone travels because everyone makes certain adjustments. That's why the rules come in. And the practices are to help you to stay tuned to this reality. The moment you begin to say, no, I'm finding this practice uncomfortable because I don't find time, because it is creating this change within me which I do not like. I do not know. There can be various. I have seen people making compromises on practices. I do not know why exactly they do that. In my own case, most of the compromises come because I commit a lot to other things. I might commit my Sunday to learning something else, so I cannot do some of my practices which I do only on Sundays or holidays, which I find to be extremely core practices, especially the cleansing practices. Other times I will make a compromise on Sundays because I might be having a commitment with the students. Other times I may have committed to some other people or to go to some other trip or some other place. The end result finally is I have at least, or normally I end up having only one Sunday in 2 months at least, sometimes 1 month, sometimes 2 months, which I can commit to this practice. So I have to change this in my own level and at least bring it down to 1 Sunday a month where I can practice. And I have to keep my other practices on a regular basis. So if a person is able to commit himself or herself to the practices of Shatkarma especially I am talking about, and then every day have regular practice of Surya Namaskar, of Kapalabhati Kriya, of Ashwini Mudra, of Prajnapan Pranayam, Anulom Vilom. So if every day the person is able to make at least these committed practices, maybe Mahabandhas, the person is smooth sailing and can add more, but at least now is under control. The body processes that can go wrong and create toxins are under control. The body processes that are required to function in the right way so that the person can have clarity in day-to-day decisions and not have physical problems, whether they be of skin, whether they be of digestion, whether they be of headaches, migraines. All these things are bound not to happen. And that is what is important. That you have to get over, or you have to make the assumption that this body is just one instrument and I am going to do this practice once a month at least. If not, if I can do more regularly, maybe once every week, at least in the beginning stages, till you have a clarity of knowing when to do and when not to do. Till then, you do every once a week. At least 2 once a month. Don't compromise on that. I have had people who have learned the practices, I have done it with them, and they have not done it for almost 2 years. And then they come back to me and say, I really need to do this practice. That does not work.
You're talking about Shat Karma.
I'm talking basic. When I'm saying once a week or once a month, I'm basically talking about Shat Karma only. And that too, Laghu Sanprakshalan and Kunjan, largely. Other practices can be done almost every day. You can do Tratak every day, Kapalabhati Kriya, the Vayu part you can do every day, you must do every day. Nauli can be done almost every day. Then you have Nauli. Neti, I am not a very strong proponent of Neti, so I won't talk about it. But there's Kapal Shodhan Kriya which you could do instead, which can be done every day. Some people say Neti also can be done every day. But I personally say that unless you are a very advanced practitioner, you must be very careful with Neti, because if you are not an advanced practitioner, what happens is Neti can cause retention of water in the sinuses, which can cause more problems in sinus. So and that's why I am not a very strong proponent of Neti itself.